We are eager to talk with you about anything that is important to you. You are getting the sense of law of attraction, yes? You get it, that you get what you think about, whether you want it or not. That there are all kinds of things that are true. That when you give your undivided attention to this truth, when you use truth or a lot of it going on as your prerequisite about whether you turn your attention to it, do you get it? That your attention to whatever it is activates it in your vibration and then gives you a measurement about whether you are looking at it as the way the source within you is or not. The art of allowing, which is what we are calling this law of attraction workshop, is about how to be in the state or how to practice the art of allowing myself to be who I really am. To allow myself to receive the fullness that life has brought me to allow myself alignment with source. That really is the ultimate being called home. In other words, we talked about how home in the physical sense sometimes can make you feel less good than you felt before you went there. And of course, it's not always the case, but mostly. But when you are called home to the source that is within you, it is always a clicking into place. It's always a feeling of relief. It's always a, yes, this is who I've become, and nothing less than this will do for me. So this law of attraction that you are hearing about and that you are beginning to notice in your experience all day, every day, says that whatever you've got active in your vibration is going to start pulling. But what people commonly misunderstand about law of attraction is that law of attraction is responding to all vibrations in the universe. It's what sorts out the vibrations. It's what makes your radio signals connect with each other in the way that they do. Although law of attraction, as it relates to you, is even far more sophisticated than that. So what we're saying to you is, you've got this vibration going on as you beat the drum of whatever you're giving your attention to now in your body. And you've got this vibration going on of who you really are, who the source within you, what your inner being is now thinking about. And what your inner being is thinking about is all that you've asked to be. So as law of attraction responds to both of those vibrational viewpoints, there is the potential of you being pulled apart if you're not in sync. You see how your guidance system works? The source within you has an opinion about everything. And when you deviate from that opinion, you feel discord. For example, source adores you. And when you're hard on your own case, you cause discord that you call guilt or self-blame or self-depreciation. In other words, when you are focused upon yourself in a negative way, you are performing the ultimate separation of self. That's why it feels so awful. When someone else holds you as their object of attention and they find fault with you, the reason that you often feel such defensiveness is as they turn their negative attention toward you, you turn your negative attention either toward yourself or toward them. And now you're using this experience as your excuse to not see this world through the eyes of source. And when you don't, you feel crummy every single time. It doesn't matter how valid your argument is against anything. When you push against unwanted things, you activate unwanted things in your vibration and they clash with your wanted things. This is a universe that's based upon law of attraction. It's an inclusion-based universe, which means you can't exclude anything. You cannot push anything away in an inclusion-based universe. So when you see that thing you don't want and you shout no at it, it's exactly the same thing as saying, yes, thing I do not want, come to me. When you see something you want and you say yes to it, it's like saying, come to me, this thing I want. So when you realize that you get what you think about, whether you want it or not, then you begin to set forth a different criteria about whether you give your attention to it. And that really is what art of allowing is. Art of allowing is accepting that you are source energy at the same time that you are physical. Do you? Art of allowing is acknowledging that that larger non-physical part of you is pulsing with the fullness of all that you have become and is holding this position of the best that you are. And it's not just the best that you are, it is the culmination of all that is. In other words, that which you are reaching for is harmony with the best synthesis of life that has been. Source, or what man often wants to call God, is in an eternal state of appreciation or becoming. And when you get into the flow of that, when you consciously turn your attention toward that beingness, and you care about your alignment with it, now your path is never confused. You never wonder what to do. You just know. You just know the thread to follow is the thread that feels good, not the thread that's written down, not the thread that's most popular, not the thread that's on CNN, not the thread that your family is speaking to you, not the thread that's on the online chat group necessarily. In other words, the thread that you're wanting to follow is the thread that feels like it has the most life in it. The thread that feels the friskiest, the thread that feels the happiest, the thread that feels the most interesting, the thread that feels the most exhilarating, the thread that feels the most life-giving. You know those people that when you're with them, they just breathe life into you? They're just tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and when you interact with them, you feel better for your interaction. That's the thread you want to follow. Good. We are eager to talk with you about anything that is important to you. Nothing is off limits. It will all unfold perfectly. Our desire as we chat with you from the hot seat is to prepare and shine a spotlight on a more obvious path for the purpose of luring you into alignment with who you are. And we are going to refer to this place that we are luring you as the vortex of that which is really you. It is the vibrational reality that exists before any physical reality ever comes about. It is the reality that is the preface or the pre-paving of everything that you know. It is a reality that you can take to the bank. We are not kidding you. It is a reality that is real. It is a reality that you can feel with your enthusiasm and your love, but you may not necessarily be able to see it unless you are in it. If you are on the verge of it, as in a hopeful attitude, then it will draw you in often and you'll have full view of what's in there. If you're ornery, if you're depressed, if you are in despair, if you are feeling out of control of your life or disempowered, then you're not in the vicinity of this vortex that contains the larger part of you and everything that you want, and all cooperative components of everything that you have been asking for. Those are our favorite new words. Your vortex contains all cooperative components of everything that you are asking for. But you've got to be in the vortex before you can see or rendezvous with the cooperative components. They're already in there. And we don't want to hurt your feelings, but we want you to know that often you are the only uncooperative component. And the reason that you're the uncooperative component is because you're still in step one. You're saying, where is it? I want it. I don't see it. Where is it? I want it. I don't see it. And we want to say to you from inside the vortex, you don't see it because you're too far away from it. Change your vibration and your view will clear up. You mean I have to get happy? That's the prerequisite. We know it's a big price to pay. But when you think about it, everything that you want is because you think you will feel better in the having of it. So why not feel better before you have it and then you'll have it? A woman said to us, Abraham, I don't think you care if my lover ever comes. I think you just want me to imagine him being there until I bring myself to a place of feeling good, even though he's not there. And so I don't even notice that he's not there. We said, exactly. She didn't like that very much because she sort of suspected that this vibrational reality is just a tool to trick you into not noticing what's going wrong in your life. And then we explained to her that, yeah, that's a trick. But that it's a really good trick. Because if you distract yourself from what's not working, then in the absence of that resistance, the vortex will bring you in. Because when you're not offering resistance, you become a cooperative component. So you just have to stop doing that thing you do that makes you unhappy, and you'll be drawn right in to where all the clues, all the unfolding, all the rendezvous points, all the opportunities, all of the fun along your creative path, along your way to all of that. We have enjoyed this interaction more than words can convey. It is exhilarating to come together with you and feel the power and clarity of your being. And we want to compliment you on your patience and willingness to stay focused for hours on end on concepts that in many cases are new, while you allow yourself to feel the personal resonance that comes when you find the thought that is a vibrational match to what your inner being knows about the same subject. We want to remind you that through the life that you have been living, that you have been in the process of sifting and sorting, yes, but you have created a vibrational reality that is not just pleasing to you as it manifests, it is pleasing to all that is as it has been culminating. And it's pleasing to all of those cooperative components that are making their way to it. We want you to leave this gathering remembering the power of this cooperative gathering of components. And we want you to have one thing on your mind and only one thing on your mind, and that is, am I in this moment, in this red hot moment of this emotion that I'm feeling, am I a cooperative component to my vortex? And if that will be the dominant question that you ask, then you will have an easy answer, because your emotions will let you know if you're a cooperative component or if you're still a holdout. And if you should discover in a moment of not positive emotion, but in a moment of negative emotion, that you are not a cooperative component, now you know exactly what to do. Just reach for thoughts that feel a little better. Reach for thoughts of relief. Tell the story in any which way, kind of way that you can tell it. Give yourself the benefit of the doubt. Look for reasons to praise. Look for reasons to appreciate. But find some way right now to get yourself in the vortex. And be like we were together with these people who sat here in the hot seat today. Don't give up on it just because the thought doesn't come immediately. Stay with the concept that you're going to get in the vortex. I'm 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 going to get in the vortex because that's who I am. I'm going to get in the vortex because that's where I belong. I'm going to get in my vortex because that's where all the good stuff is, but I'm going to get into the vortex because that's the vibrational resonance that is truly who I am. And as you play this game just for a little while, people who are watching you, whether they're in or out of their own vortex, people who are watching you will notice the deftness with which you create your own reality. They will say to you, I just barely heard you commenting about that, and here I see you totally involved in it. It seems that you no sooner have to speak it than the universe or something cooperates and presents to you the path for the creation of it. What is your secret? What is your magic? What do you know that I don't know? And you can say to them, with the confidence that you have gathered as a result of listening in to this conversation here today, with the resonance that comes forth from the source that is within you, I have remembered how good I am. And I have remembered how things are supposed to go well for me. And I've been practicing the thoughts that match that sentiment. I've been practicing worthy feeling thoughts. I've been giving myself and others the benefit of the doubt. I've been looking for reasons to praise, and I've been choking on my words of criticism. I've been looking for things to appreciate, and I am finding fault hardly ever at all. I'm looking for reasons to love, and I'm finding more and more of them everywhere I look. I believe that I'm tuning myself to the wholeness of who I am. And I believe you can say to your friend that what you're witnessing is the manifestation of that self-discovery. We've enjoyed this immensely. And as always, we remain joyously. Did we tell you we love you? Incomplete.